Bonjour, this is Fabulously Delicious, the French food podcast. This is the podcast that's all about the cuisine that is said to have founded modern cooking. French ingredients and dishes have been the starting block for many of the world's best chefs and cooks. And on Fabulously Delicious, you'll learn all about those dishes and ingredients, as well as get to know more about fabulous French foodies. I'm your host, Andrew Pryor. Enchanté.
Enchanté.
My life changed when I competed on MasterChef Australia, and now I'm living my best life right here in the French countryside. Cooking, eating, meeting wonderful locals, food producers, home cooks, chefs, and drinking amazing wines. Eating some of the over, would you believe, I've been told there's more than 1,500 French cheeses, so I'm trying to eat them all for you and share these fabulous experiences with you, my fabulously delicious audience. I hope you're enjoying them. Today, we are talking about one of the Mères Lyonnaises that is said to be one of the most well-known chefs of her time, and if not the 20th century. If not for her and her career, French food and cuisine might well be very, very different today. Sit back, turn the volume up. If you're not driving, pour yourself a glass of wine. Break a baguette, add a bit of saucisson maybe, some of that delicious French cheese, and enjoy today's episode of Fabulously Delicious, the story of Françoise Fayolle. Françoise Fayolle was born Benoît Fayolle on Saturday the 2nd of September in 1865 in the quaint village of Auzelles. Nestled in the Auvergne-Rhône-Alpes region, she grew up in a world far removed from the bustling kitchens that would later define her career. Her parents, father Aîné Fayolle, a 30-year-old hemp painter, and her mother, Marie Moret, 28, lived simple lives. Little did they know that their eldest daughter would rise to culinary fame, placing their small village on the gastronomic map. Françoise was the oldest of 10 daughters. Yes, 10 girls. Imagine the commotion and the lively spirit in their home, filled with chatter of the young girls, the sounds of cooking, and the hard work of daily life. It's no wonder that Françoise later changed her name from Benoît to Françoise, perhaps signalling the beginning of her own journey independent of a bustling household. The village of Auzelles itself was a small picturesque place surrounded by the natural beauty of the Auvergne region, known for its lush forests, rolling hills and volcanic mountains. Today it has a population of just about 350 people, but in the 19th century it was even smaller. It had a community of farmers and craftspeople where life revolved around the seasons of the land. Food was an integral part of daily life. Simple, hearty meals made from local ingredients. This was the culinary landscape that shaped Françoise's early years. At the age of just 15, Françoise left the family home and began working in bourgeois households in Grenoble and then Lyon. Working as a cook in affluent homes exposed her to a higher standard of cuisine, and in particular, she worked in the household of Gaston Amand, a gourmand and director of an insurance company. The impact of these formative years would last a lifetime. Émouard's appreciation of fine food and good company likely deepened Françoise's love for cooking and her understanding of the pleasure food could bring to people. During this time, the economic crisis of 1929 hit global markets hard, including France. Many bourgeois families, no longer able to afford personal chefs, let their kitchen staff go. Many of these displaced cooks, including Françoise, would venture into the world of restaurant owners. They brought the elegance of home-cooked bourgeois meals to the public arena, creating a whole new dining experience. Françoise became one of the celebrated Mères Lyonnaises, a group of women who were pivotal in shaping the identity of Lyonnaise and French cuisine. These women were often self-taught, learning to cook in their family homes or as domestic servants, and later opening their own establishments. They brought the warmth and heart of home-cooked meals into restaurants, elevating rustic dishes into high-level fine dining. The Mères Lyonnaises emerged in a male-dominated culinary world, yet they carved out a unique niche. Their food was not haute cuisine, but it wasn't simple peasant fare either. It was somewhere in between. Sophisticated yet unpretentious. Rich in flavour but rooted in tradition. Their influence on French cuisine cannot be overstated. They helped to establish Lyon as the gastronomic capital of France, a title the city still holds today. Among the most famous of the Mères Lyonnaises was Eugène Brazier, who became the first woman to earn 3 Michelin stars. And of course, Françoise Fayolle, who was renowned for her impeccable technique, her generous use of truffles, and her celebrated chicken dishes. These women didn't just serve food, they created dining experiences that captured the hearts and stomachs of locals and tourists alike. Françoise married Louis Fayolle, and together they opened a small bistro at 76 or 73 Rue du Quaint in Lyon. It started as a humble wine merchant shop and gradually evolved into one of the most talked about eateries in Lyon. The bistro, simply called Fayolle, catered to locals, tourists and performers from nearby cabarets. Regulars from the Grand Comp racecourse also frequented the establishment, drawn by the hearty, comforting food and the welcoming atmosphere. At first, a snack at the bistro might cost you 125 francs, and a full meal a mere 350 francs, a bargain even for its time. Above the counter, a sign humorously warned customers, "Those who sing should not go up on the tables." A nod to the lively, informal atmosphere that characterised Françoise's restaurant. Bonjour, bonsoir, fabulous listeners. If you're enjoying the delicious journey that we have here with us on Fabulously Delicious, I've got a small favour that I'd like to ask you. Well, actually, it's a bit of a huge favour because it'll make a huge difference to the podcast. Please take a moment to rate and review the podcast wherever you're listening, especially if you're on Apple Podcasts. Your 5-star rating, nudge, nudge, wink, wink, notice what I did there? 5-star, please. Merci beaucoup. And a fabulous review will help bring even more food lovers into our French culinary adventures. Merci beaucoup for your support and for being part of this amazing community, my fabulously delicious audience. Join me for a delightful cooking adventure right here in Montmorillon. You'll stay in a charming townhouse in the heart of the town, and then it's time to roll up your sleeves and come cook with me here in my home kitchen. Enjoy an authentic French food experience that will tantalise your taste buds and create lasting memories, I'm sure. Ready to savour the flavours of France? Then check out andrewpryfabulously.com for more information on my Vienne residencies, and I can't wait to welcome you. By the way, you wondered why it's Andrew Pry Fabulously, or whether why it's Fabulously Delicious. It's because my motto is, whatever you do, you should do it fabulously. Over time, Le Bistro Fayolle grew in popularity, attracting more and more customers as word of Françoise's exceptional cooking spread. One of the keys to her success was her ability to adapt to the changing world around her. In Lyon, as in the rest of France, in the late 19th and to early 20th centuries, were a time of great social and economic change. The expansion of the railway brought an influx of tourists to the city, many of whom didn't speak the regional language that was still widely used in Lyon at the time. 90% of the population spoke a regional dialect rather than standardised French. Françoise, like many others, had to learn to speak French in order to communicate with her new customers. This linguistic shift mirrored the transformation of Lyon into a cosmopolitan city, and Le Bistro Fayolle became a microcosm of that change. Françoise was best known for her Poularde demi-deuil, or half-morning chicken. a dish that became synonymous with her name and the hallmark of her culinary legacy. The dish was a beautiful marriage of flavours and techniques. A plump chicken was carefully stuffed with black truffles under its skin, creating a striking appearance, hence the name half mourning, as the truffles resembled the dark veils worn by women in mourning. The chicken was cooked in a delicate broth and then served with a rich, velvety sauce supreme, making it a dish both comforting and luxurious. The way she handled truffles was almost poetic. Truffles were a major feature in many of her dishes, from truffle-laden consommes to artichokes with foie gras, gratin quenelles, and even her famous praline ice cream. Françoise's love of truffles was well known, and it became a defining feature for her cooking. Some critics joked that she put truffles in everything, and they weren't far off. Truffles added an exquisite, earthy depth of nearly every dish that came out of her kitchen. Another famous dish was her quenelles, classic Lyonnaise specialty, made from a delicate mixture of flour, butter, eggs, and sometimes fish, formed into oval shapes and poached until perfectly tender. Françoise's quenelles were praised for their light, fluffy texture and, of course, the luxurious truffle sauce that accompanied them. Diners would rave about these dumplings, and they became one of the most sought-after items of the menu. Françoise's mastery of chicken dishes earned her the name the Queen of Chickens. Over the course of her career, she reportedly butchered more than 500,000 chickens. All with the same pair of knives. These knives became legendary in their own right, with one still on display at the Museum of Gastronomy in Villeneuve-de-Loubet. It's said that she was so particular about the way her chickens were cooked that she used the same cooking broth for them, renewing the liquid only once every 2 weeks to deepen the flavours over time. So basically, a masterstock. Her culinary precision and attention to detail were not just about technique. They were a reflection of a deep respect for the ingredients. Nothing was wasted, and every dish was crafted with care. This frugality and thoughtfulness were traits that many of the Mères Lyonnaises shared, and it contributed to the soulfulness of their cooking. Françoise was not only a brilliant chef in her own right, but also a mentor to future generations of chefs. Among her protégés was Eugène Brazier, who would go on to achieve great fame in her own right, becoming the first woman to earn 3 Michelin stars. Brazier inherited Le Bistro Fayolle after Françoise's death, and she continued many of the traditions and recipes that Françoise had perfected. The bond between these two women, one a teacher and the other a student, exemplified the collaborative and supportive nature of the Mères Lyonnaises. In 1924, a renowned food critic, Maurice Edmond Salland, better known by his pen name Grenoble, declared that Françoise Fayolle to be one of the greatest chefs in France. He placed her alongside cultural icons like Rudyard Kipling, Charlie Chaplin, noting that she was as much a star in the culinary world as they were. Such praise was rare for a woman at the time in this male-dominated world of French gastronomy. But Françoise had earned it through her sheer talent and dedication to French cuisine and cooking for the Lyonnaise community. After her death on the 22nd of October in 1925, Françoise's restaurant continued to thrive, a testament to the strength of her legacy. In 1965, a commemorative plaque was placed at the site of her restaurant, honouring her contribution to French cuisine. Today, her name lives on in Les Halles de Lyon, where an alley has been named in her honour, ensuring that her influence on Lyonnaise cuisine will never be forgotten. Françoise Fayolle, Le Mère Fayolle, played a key role in establishing Lyon as the gastronomic heart of France. Her dedication to traditional cooking, her inventive use of ingredients like truffle, and her mentorship of future generations helped shape what we now think of as French cuisine. The legacy of the Mères Lyonnaises and of Françoise in particular continues to inspire chefs and food lovers worldwide. Without Françoise Fayolle and other Mères Lyonnaises, French cuisine as we know it today might not exist. They laid the foundation for modern gastronomy, blending the heartiness of rustic cooking with the finesse of fine dining. Françoise's story is one of perseverance, innovation, and an unwavering commitment to the craft of cooking. La Tribune asked rhetorically after Françoise's death, "Who is the traveller? Who is the tourist? Who did not know La Mère Fayolle in Lyon?" Planning a trip to France, heading to Paris, or maybe you're one of those lucky ones that already live in this incredible city. Well, I've been fortunate to call Paris home, and let's be honest, I've pretty much eaten my way through the city for you. Now I want to bring you all that delicious experience straight to you, my fabulously delicious audience, because if you're tuning in, I'm guessing that you love French food, right? As much as I do, probably. That's why I wrote my first book, Paris, a fabulous food guide to the world's most delicious city. In it, you'll find more than 379 hand-picked recommendations for you, from boulangeries, cozy cafes, indulgent chocolate shops, exceptional fromageries, and more than 170 restaurants. Yep, and I've been to them all. I've even included food streets, gourmet kitchen supply stores, wine bars, and so much more. This is the 2024 edition, which will be up to date with recommendations for you. Perfect for your next trip to Paris. If you're lucky enough to live there, or if you're lucky enough to live there, perfect for you to go out and explore. You can grab your copy on andrewpryorfabulously.com, where you can even get a signed and gift packaged version, or you can find it on Amazon, and if you really want quick access, there's a Kindle version for you. Got a burning idea for an episode of Fabulously Delicious? Is there a French food topic you're really eager to explore? I want to hear from you. Follow me on Instagram at andrewpryorfabulously.com and then slide into my DMs. Always wanted to say that. And give me your episode suggestions. Your input is what makes this podcast truly special. So let's collaborate and dive into the delicious world of French cuisine together. Can't wait to see what you come up with as episode ideas. If you enjoyed this episode of Fabulously Delicious, the French food podcast, their story of series, then make sure you check out previous episodes where we've talked about other fabulous chefs that have made their history in one way or another in French food. We've discovered the father of French cooking, and some would say Marie-Antoine Carême. Auguste Escoffier, who set up the working processes in today's commercial kitchens. Eugène Brazier, who we touched on in this episode, and also the fabulous French woman who founded the acclaimed Le Cordon Bleu cooking school, Elisabeth Brassard. Or our last story of episode about Pierre Franny, who brought French food to many homes in the US through his writing, cookbooks, and TV shows. Learn more about these fabulous French chefs and cooks and their stories, then please check them out on Fabulously Delicious, the French food podcast, and search the Story of series. That's it for another fabulous episode of Fabulously Delicious. Have you heard of Françoise Fayolle before? What's the most fabulous thing that you've learned from today's episode? Let me know by contacting me via Instagram. Slide into my DMs at andrewpryorfabulously or email me at contact@andrewpryorfabulously. Thank you for listening, and remember, you know what my motto is. Whatever you do, do it fabulously. Merci beaucoup and bon